Hey guys! I'm so excited because this video is a collaboration with KOSSIE, an inclusive community-based coaching platform which helps millennial women with their dating, well-being, and career concerns. After millennial women ask questions on their platform, they match their community with vetted and accredited experts and coaches that answer their questions. And for all things related to their well-being and their career questions, I'm proud to be one of their experts. So in this video, I'll be answering all the questions that have been asked so far on the KOSSIE platform. All the questions will be related to career and wellness at work, and particularly how to be happy and fulfilled in your career. So this is how it works. On kossie.co.uk, any member can go there and ask their question anonymously and describe their challenge or an issue they've been encountering and that they're seeking support on. And then they wait a short amount of time for a coach to respond to it. In this video, I'll be sharing all the questions that have been asked on career and well-being at work. And I'm so excited because in today's video, the amazing CEO and founder of KOSSIE will join us, and she will come in this video and ask me questions herself. Okay, without further ado, let's dive right in.
Hi, question number 1. Sometimes I feel unfulfilled in my life. I work so hard on my creative things, but I'm so busy with my husband and 2 of my young children. I find it hard to separate me from mom. I'm not so sure anyone else see me as more than a mom either. Of course, my family makes me happy, but so does my work too. I wish I had more time for both. So my question is, how can I accept my home situation and stop pining for more?
Great question, Karen. Thanks for asking. I'd like to put in a disclaimer. I will be answering this question from a general perspective since I'm not a mom, so just something to keep in mind. So it's only natural that you'd feel unfulfilled in your life because it sounds like many parts of your personality are not being expressed as much as they'd want to. Just like when we do valuations of companies in finance, there's this concept of sum of the parts of all the different parts of a company that makes a valuation complete. And so with our personalities, it's the same thing. It's the sum of all different parts and aspects of our personalities that make us who we are today. If we're unable to express some sides of our personality that strive and yearn to come out, it may create an imbalance and make us feel like we're holding back, we're not being completely ourselves, and we may feel unfulfilled. Once that you're able to accept all the facets of your personality, just like a diamond who has many facets that allows it to shine bright, it's time now to create a little bit of space for these personalities to come out and express themselves organically. And here there's this really important concept of time versus energy that I love to talk about. The first time I've heard it was from Jay Shetty. When you think about expressing some different sides of your personality from a time perspective, then you start thinking, oh my gosh, like, from 9 to 5 I'm a professional, I'm a busy professional, and then after work I have to be a mom. But because being a mom never really stops, if we think about it, then you don't have time to be anything else. So then there's never enough time to express my creative side. And so that's what creates this conflict. Another way of looking at things is to think in terms of energy. And so when we think about our personalities from an energy perspective, things completely shift. What I mean by energy, how can you be authentic and intentional in the way you show up as fill the blank, the part of your personality that you want to express at a given time. So if I go back to today's question, that person really struggled to express their creative side. So if we look at it from an energy perspective, maybe you can start thinking of ways you could be a little bit more creative in everything you do throughout the day. So perhaps in the way you do your makeup, or the way you dress up, or the way you show up in a meeting, your creative ideas. Bring in some creative ideas, and the way you prepare lunch, when you cook, the recipes you prepare or maybe order every day, how can you express your creativity there? As well as the plans you do after work and on weekends. There's this story that I love to share. I remember that back in my corporate days in banking, we were at an after work, and there was this senior director of a New York branch, and we were sitting at a bar for a corporate after work, and they were ordering some drinks, and the director sat on a stool, and because he was suited up, when he sat down, just most of men tailored pants do, they lift when they sit, and so that we can see their ankles and we can see their socks. And so when he sat on that bar stool, we saw his socks, and they were not traditional socks, they were Donald Duck's socks. And think about it, he was really the head of a huge division, so he was really well respected, he was a seasoned banker. So we asked him, hey, so what's going on with these socks? And his answer left me speechless. He said, I've been in the business for decades. Banking is a very serious and very transactional type of job, and so I'm a funny guy. There's a big child inside of me, and so I found with years that I really craved to express more of this childish and carefree side of myself, side of my personality. And if you think about it, how can you as well show more of your creative side every single day in a way that, you know, fits your needs of being more authentic to yourself, as well as obviously blending in with your environment, whether you're working at the office or from home. It sounds like you're really striving to make progress in your creative endeavors, but at the same time you have a lot on your plate, and that is exhausting. And something that could be really helpful in such a situation is to learn how to set clear, crisp boundaries with your environment, but at the same time also know how to bring everyone on the journey with you to support you. Let me explain. I invite you to think about ways you could set clear boundaries with them to let them know that there's some time that you need to, you know, express your more creative side. If they can give you a little bit of space, then that would be great. This is something to negotiate and to discuss with your husband and with your kids, and perhaps also as well with your bosses. There's another way to set a boundary, which is to include the people around you, your husband, your kids, in your creative endeavors, and really share with them your passion for this creative project that you've been working really hard on for a while.
Question number 2. I'm getting depressed because I don't know how to be fulfilled at work. I have hated every job I had, and the jobs I think I would like require skills and experience, so I just feel lost. I want to follow my passion, but I also want to move out and have my own space, and I don't think those two worlds collide. How can I find a job I'm actually happy in?
Thanks, Karen, for asking. If this is you, if you feel like you don't know how to be fulfilled, there's no knowledge, there's no magic formula to be fulfilled. Rather, it's a result of you experimenting with different situations and making different choices and thinking, okay, what worked and what didn't, so that you feel fulfilled, you feel like content, and you feel at peace and aligned with your values and with where you are at in life. Because it's not a skill, it's a feeling, it's something that you can feel anytime. It's not because you didn't feel fulfilled in the past that you won't be fulfilled anytime soon. Quite au contraire. Because you haven't felt fulfilled in the past, that means that you have accumulated some experience, some emotions that gave you some messages about what you didn't like, what didn't align, what didn't sit well with you. And there's your opportunity to dig into what didn't fulfill you up until now, so that you can start making different choices, start hanging out in different circles, start making different decisions and getting into different situations and environments, so that you can feel something different and see if that feels more fulfilling, if you feel more content there or not. So here I invite you to really get cozy and acknowledge your emotions. You mentioned feeling depressed, you mentioned hating your job. These are pretty powerful emotions. I urge you to really get warm and cozy with them and analyze them and really dig deep and understand why you feel depressed. Why do you hate your job? Why have you hated your previous jobs? It's not a comfortable thing to do, but doing that work will sort of strip you naked of everything that's going on, so that you can look at yourself in the mirror and say, what hasn't been working so far and what can I do differently? And here's your chance. Once you've analyzed those emotions and sort of looked at the past, now you can focus on the present and say, now what? What will change? And this is where you can start looking into the future of what changes can I make? And by change, I mean, what choices can you make differently, what situations can you get yourself into that were different from the past, what new people can you hang around with, what new skills can you get and lessons can you learn. And finally, you may be thinking right now, yes, I want to bring 5% more change into my life, but there's so many things that I want to change, I don't know where to start, and doing all of them is a bit overwhelming, I don't have time. You need to be clear on your top priorities, and for that I have a workshop that's free, that I've done, that's tried and tested by myself and by many of my clients, and it's such a great workshop that really helps you drill down into what are your top core priorities and goals in life. If you want to access it, click in the link in the description box below. It will really help you drill down to the top 2-3 areas of your life that are a top priority for you, and then ask yourself, okay, now I'm ready to feel more fulfilled, I'm ready to bring in 5% more change into my life in these specific areas. What does that change look like now for me?
I have just joined a new team for over 6 months now. I just can't seem to blend in with the new team, and the work style is so different compared to my old team. No one seems to communicate as much as even though we are all working toward the same project. So the question is, how do you work with a team with a complete work style?
So thanks, Karen, for asking. Of course, it's really critical to integrate ourselves well in a team, given the amount of time we spend working with our colleagues. And so it's only natural that over time, their energy rubs off on us and it ends up impacting our mental and emotional health. So that's why it's crucial to get along with our coworkers, and if not, to be able to learn how to set healthy boundaries with them, not to bring the negative or energy or toxicity that they may bring to your space to your private life. For anyone looking to integrate and join a new team, there's this critical observation phase that we all have to go through to make sure that, we seamlessly blend into the team. What I mean by that is to really take advantage of the first days and weeks that you spend into that new team to observe the habits, the culture, the values, and, the reactions of your team members and the team as a whole. This is where you can get precious information on what's acceptable in the team, what's not, and absorb anything that can help you integrate yourself and adapt to this new environment. The second party into this relationship is the team, obviously, and it's your coworkers, and namely your managers. Some managers do a great job at making newcomers feel warm and welcome, and some others don't. Some reasons for that may be that they're way too overwhelmed and busy right now, and they have so many burning priorities at the moment that onboarding the newcomers is just not one of them. Some other reasons may be that they love the previous employee that worked there and they were heartbroken and really sad that they left, and so it's sort of, for some people, it takes this grieving period for them to get over the previous person that left. At the end of the day, yes, it's a workplace, but this is human relationships, and so when you get along with a coworker really, really well and they leave, it may be a bit annoying to have to create a new bond with someone else a few days later. In other cases, there may be such a high turnover in that team that you're joining that people are sort of unfazed by newcomers. There's so many new people coming in and out of the company and that team that one more, one less, they stopped paying attention and caring, and so unfortunately those situations are where the professional relationships start to fizzle and there's not as much of a team bond there. These are a few reasons why your managers may not be paying attention to you when you're joining the team. This is here just to remind you that it may not just be because of you. And that message that I received from that person, I really sensed some nostalgia. So make a list of all the things that you liked and disliked in your previous job, sort of this list of pros and cons, and then compare them to your current team right now. Keep that list near you and update it frequently, and then when you're ready for a career change and to switch teams, pull that list out, and that will definitely give you some precise and really, really useful insight as to what's your vision of a happy place. Also, you mentioned this lack of clear communication in your team. I invite you to be the one who leads by example and voice your concerns to your team in a very clear, concise, and elegant manner. A great way to do that is the DESC framework, and it's as follows. It's the the DESC framework. The D stands for describe, and here you would describe what's the issue. And the issue here is that you don't feel welcomed into the team. E stands for explaining your emotion, and here you would say that, you know, it saddens you that you don't feel welcome into the team because you really are happy to work in that team and you would love to bond with everyone so that you could, you know, 10x your performance and your learning curve and your results as a team. S stands for solutions. You show up with a solution before you bring the topic with your team or your manager. And here a solution could be that, you know, you ask for, you know, some specific Zoom calls, like weekly Zoom calls with the team, maybe some after works, maybe running or working out as a group during a lunch break, or any other way that you find compelling to bond with your team and sort of improve the situation of you feeling more welcome into the team. C is, you know, clarify the consequence, and here you would express what would happen if, you know, that challenge, that issue that you're encountering is not solved. Obviously here you want to talk about a consequence that is not a threat. You know, you're not trying to blackmail your team, so you would sort of say something along the lines of, if I'm not integrated into the team and we don't learn how to develop a clear communication, I'm afraid that we may not reach our target, or I'm afraid that we may not have as strong as a team bond as we could, which could impact the mood of the whole team in general.
Question number 4. I just have been quite lazy lately. I just couldn't find motivation working from home, but our office has now shifted to fully work from home, and I honestly don't know what can I do with that. So my question is, what to do when I am always lack of motivation?
Thanks so much, Karen, for asking. So I hear this lazy statement all of the time with my clients, and the first thing that comes to mind that I want to share with you is, are you really? What if we investigated on what's behind that lazy label? Is it because you feel lonely? Is it because you feel bored? Is it because you miss interacting with your colleagues and clients? Or perhaps is it the job itself? And on that matter, I have done a video that's called You're Not Lazy, and where I give you tips about what to do on all those situations where you feel lazy before and after work. Click on the info card above this screen right now to watch it. Once you find what's hiding behind this situation, you will understand what is there to change so that you can actually take a step forward to feeling better. Obviously, asking yourself these questions will have you focused on what's not working right now, what's making you feel lethargic and lazy. So it's also very useful to focus on what's working right now at the moment. What are the benefits from working from home? Is it that you have an extra hour in the morning to stretch and shower, work out, or have a nice breakfast? Is it that you have more time to eat lunch? Is it that you have more time to call your family or your friends or do some personal research online? Or perhaps that you have time in the evening to relax in front of a movie or reconnect with long-lost hobbies? While there are always upsides to any situations in life, if you really struggle to see one and really feel grateful for at least one thing right now in your life, then I urge you to make a bigger change in your life right now and raise your concerns with your team, HR, and perhaps consider a career shift, so that you may protect your emotional and mental health at the moment. Here you have it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you, Karen Chung, CEO and founder of KOSSIE. If you've enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you have questions on the topic of wellness and career, as well as if you want to review all the questions that have been presented in this video, make sure you head out to kossie.co.uk/c/coachwafa to visit my coach profile there and ask me personally questions anonymously. See you next week for part 2 of this video. Bye.